Hello and welcome back again to this series of videos on the indicators. And in this video, I'm focusing once more on the MVWAP, which is a variant of what we call the VWAP Pro indicator, which is essentially 5 indicators in one. If you've already seen the introductory videos and the VWAP indicator, then you'll be very familiar with the concepts and principles behind this indicator itself. And the MVWAP is a variation. And the big difference between the MVWAP and the VWAP is that the MVWAP acts in a seamless way. It moves across the sessions unnoticed, and it's basically continuing to calculate through those session crossover times. Whereas with the VWAP, that starts to recalculate at the beginning of each new session. And that's the big key difference. So what you see with the MVWAP is very much a seamless transitional phase of the indicator. It's absolutely beautiful in the way it works, and it's seamless. So there are no breaks in data because the indicator is constantly recalculating without resetting. And that's the key difference between the VWAP itself, which starts afresh every new session, whereas the MVWAP works across the time horizons. Now, the other big difference, of course, is that what that means is that you can look at much slower timeframes over longer periods, and hence the reason I've got this set up from a 5-minute top left right the way down to the 240-minute bottom right. With the VWAP, it's very much an intraday scalping tool, day trading, stocks, ETFs, index futures, whatever it may be. With the moving version, the MVWAP, you can extend out to much slower time frames, and it gives you a seamless transitional view of the VWAP itself, and of course the various envelopes associated with it, whatever they may be set to. As I showed you in the initial, and I might as well show it here as well, just click on that, and if we go to indicators, then click on the VWAP Pro down here. Here we are, we're on the MVWAP, which is this particular version of 5, and those are the others, the VWAP, the MVWAP, the AVWAP, which is the anchored version, the TWAP, which is the time-weighted average price, and the intraday VWAP, which only works on the daily, weekly, and the monthly, a much slower variant of the VWAP, because the MVWAP will not work on the daily, as indeed none of the others do either. Hence, we developed the intraday VWAP. You can see down here that for the MVWAP, we have a period of 21 set. That's the default. And on this particular chart, I've got this set, the multiply, which is our envelope setting for our standard deviation. This is defaulted to 1. And I think on one or two of the other charts, I've actually increased that to 1.5. The stock we're looking at here is eBay. On the initial version, we looked at Caterpillar with the ticker CAT. Here we're looking at eBay. And just to reinforce some of the concepts that are key to using the indicator, whether we're using this variant, whether we're using the VWAP, the anchored VWAP, whatever it may be, we're always looking at the slant of the VWAP itself, which is the center line here. So this one. We're also looking at the configuration of the envelopes, how the price is reacting, where it's sitting in terms of relationship to the envelope. We're using multiple time frames, which are absolutely essential. And in addition to that, and most important of all, we are using volume price analysis methodology as our trigger, either to get in, to help us stay in, or to decide to exit a position that we have. So those are the key elements. As you can see, immediately with eBay, it was very bearish, has been bearish for the last, certainly the shorter period within the window anyway. If we go down to the 240, just pop that up full size for you, there you go. A very nice ride up on the VWAP itself. You can see this retesting of the VWAP. You will see this a lot. I've mentioned it in other videos. This revisiting of the VWAP and then a continuation. So it's acting as support, it's pushing higher, and we're moving up on the higher envelope outside the bounds of the higher envelope. That's fine, but that is providing support, and it's also identifying where we are in terms of the price journey. and then we get a big sell-off. Don't know, I can't remember what the reason was for that, whether it was earnings or some other result, but there we go. We get this big sell-off with tons of volume coming in. But you'll see throughout we get this very nice descriptive phase of price action with the envelope and the VWAP itself acting as support in addition to the upper envelope. So that's on the 240. We drop down into, where are we? Let's go down to the other end of the extreme. This is on 5 minute. And there you see the way the indicator, the MVWAP, it transitions through the change of day here. So we've gone through there. There's no break. It hasn't gone to zero and reset. It's just continued on. And what it does is it gives you that view of where it is. We're very bearish, obviously. We're continuing bearish into the new phase. So you get that continuation aspect. And in addition to that, we're tracking along. We're below the outer envelope, which is absolutely fine. It's pressing down. It's adding downward pressure to the price. And on down we go, lower still. And if we go up to the 10-minute, it's 15-minute, beg your pardon. Similar sort of picture there. We crash through the VWAP on down, and then the outer envelope is really, really pressing down. Very steep inclination of the VWAP here, and the outer envelope is pressing down and was still well outside the outer envelope as well as we get down to the end of the session on Friday. So that's the moving VWAP, the MVWAP. Fascinating indicator, and I'm going to do a video where I show it alongside the VWAP and urge you to investigate that as a combination, because the two of them work very well together, because what the MVWAP is doing is actually filling in the blanks. I'm going to do a separate video on that just to show you the two of them in action alongside one another. So I hope you've enjoyed this particular video. Lots more to come as always. Thanks for watching. See you soon, and bye for now.